Firstly, I would like to request our very own Bhatt sir to start this session with a prayer. I would request Bhatt sir to start with the prayer song. Uh, I think Bhatt sir is having some technical issues in uh, his audio. So meanwhile, I would like to request our Professor Nupur ma'am to offer the prayers. Nupur ma'am, can we please have you?
मैं हाँ या कुंदे तुषार हार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्ड मण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्मच्युता शङ्करा प्रभाभृत्भिः देवैः सदा पूजिता सम्मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेषजाड्यापहा. अस्तु.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And I once again formally welcome all of you to this wonderful session. And before we begin, I would just like to introduce our institute. Like most of you must be aware that GRIMS, that is GIDC Raju Shroff Raffel Institute of Management Studies, was established in 1999, and it has been pioneer in the field of management education since then. And we are proud to say that when we started this institute, we were the only one that existed apart from the MBA department of VNSG University. And GRIMS is a joint venture by GIDC, UPL, that's owned by our own very own trustee Raju Shroff, and Raffel Trust. We believe in creating entrepreneurs and at the same time providing equal placement opportunities. And we are very proud to say that we have been doing successfully over a period of long years. Not just that, when it comes to academics, we are proud to say that Raffel has always been standing first in the South Gujarat region, and we have ranked second in the Pan Gujarat state. So that is a brief, the brief introduction of our institute. And last but not the least, research has been one of the most important areas as far as GRIMS is concerned. And we are proud to say that we have 3 doctorates with us, and the rest of the faculties are also into their PhD. And we will be one of the first institutes in the entire GTU that will have all the doctorates as faculties. So that is something that we are really proud of. And now, like I would love to introduce Jankna ma'am, who's the speaker for today. She is a very own alumni because she pursued her MBA in finance from this very same institute. She is a net qualified, and like I mentioned, she is also pursuing a PhD from VNSGU, and she has keen interest in the areas of research, analytics, and that brings me to this topic, that is NVivo. Ma'am has hands-on experience on SPSS, eViews, R software, and NVivo. And for today particularly, we have qualitative data analysis using NVivo and EndNote. So now, without wasting further time, I hand over the mic to Jankna ma'am. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Tejas sir. Uh, Good morning, everyone. Hope you and your all family members are keeping well. So, wishes for your good health. And yes, let's start our topic. Let me share my presentation. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Visible.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, our topic for today is qualitative data, qualitative information analysis using NVivo and EndNote. Okay. So, what analysis mean in this particular term? We are going to look through the entire seminar. Okay. So, I'm not going for that. But yes, we all know what we mean by qualitative data, qualitative information, and what we refer to as qualitative data and information. So, can anybody let me know that what exactly qualitative information or data mean? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so can you let me know what qualitative information mean? Okay, uh, okay, anyone? Okay, let me start. Uh, it's someone writing something. No. It is non-numerical data or non-numerical information which is in text format, right? But it's not that simple that only text information would be covered under qualitative information. Or okay, nowadays we people are very much interested into analyzing audios, videos, and images which we are collecting as our information and data pertaining to our research, pertaining to any problem at hand, right? So and we all know about unstructured information and data. So today is the world where structured information, structured data has the similar importance, or we can say that the more importance is now of qualitative information, that is image analysis, audio visuals analysis, and all, including text analysis. So I think I have made a platform from where we can start that what I am going to analyze, right? What I am going to analyze through NVivo. Okay, so let's start about qualitative research and qualitative data analysis software. Okay, so what qualitative researchers do, they use different types of non-numerical data, okay, and that is collected through different methods like interviews, focus groups, survey, journal articles, not only journal articles, news articles, even you can have into text or PDF formats, and that could also be imported, and that can also be analyzed. Uh, Even web pages, field observations, which are afterward transcribed and converted into Word or PDF documents. Okay, what they are doing, why they are collecting the information? To explore and evaluate social phenomena, right? Uh, okay. Uh, Explaining it in detail, what exactly we want through the analysis of non-numerical information or data. Majority of the time, qualitative researchers want to clarify with their problem statement itself. They want to deep down, like they want to have in-depth analysis of their problem at hand, or we can say that they are much interested into clarifying problem itself. First you need to clarify your problem, whether you are going in right direction or not. So you, whatever problem you are facing, it may be new to you, so you have to explore much on the problem itself, and then after you can set your methodology, or which analytical tool or which method for data collection you are going to have. Okay, so that is one perspective. Another thing is, after understanding your problem in a better way, you will be next very much interested into knowing themes. Okay, themes, dimensions, variables, factors. Okay, so for that, even in-depth interviews, focus groups, surveys, all these methods are being used. So yes, the purpose behind collection of non-numerical information and data through all these qualitative methods are simply two or more than that, but yes, majority of the times for this two purposes, qualitative researchers are going for this qualitative methods. Okay, uh, let's define the scope of this software and even the qualitative research. So it doesn't belong to our own social science only, but yes, if you are collecting non-numerical information data in any kind of discipline, say suppose education, healthcare, okay, specifically business, in which profession we are dealing with, right? So any kind of qualitative information could be analyzed. So qualitative analysis software such as NVivo, it what it does organization, like it tries to organize all the documents or entire information which you may have collected, and not only organizing, but it also help particular researcher in analyzing qualitative information and data as well. But it doesn't mean that NVivo suggests that qualitative techniques and qualitative methods are superior over quantitative techniques or methods. No, both have its own importance. Okay, okay. Now why NVivo? Okay. So it can not only classify, but it can sort, arrange many type of non-numerical data. Why I'm saying many types? Because it's can't only import Word or PDF documents, but it can even compatible with videos, audios, recordings, and all kind of notes, even the Excel sheets. And not only Excel sheets, even your SPSS files can be imported, even your social media information which you have captured through N-Capture, that also could be imported. So that I'll show you through the NVivo software itself, that which type of information you can import and then analyze. Okay, it help you to examine relationships among data and various factors, dimensions. You will be able to study the relationship. It provides you organized storage through which you can quickly search and locate whatever material you want. Okay, it analyzes information to determine relationships and themes. Okay, it can make you visualize your project, and you can even draw models and charts also, right? And ultimately it keeps
Hello.
you, the researcher, near to the
Hello.
data. Okay,
Hello.
so whatever we tried to include in those previous two slides, let me explain it through an image. Like previously, what we were doing, like we were having printouts of all the documents which we want to. Just a minute. Huh? Okay. So previously, what we were doing, as part of literature review, I want to have 300, 400 kind of documents or PDF files. So what I used to do, first of all, I need to make a place or make a space for storage of that, all those documents. I would be having printout of all those documents, and ultimately I would be creating, messy kind of thing. I won't be able to organize it properly. So that problem could be resolved through softwares like NVivo, right? So you can see the files. All these are files in sort format, organized well in NVivo. Second thing, what we were used to do, we were used to read all those documents, and we try to highlight the important themes, or we can say that variables, then variable definitions, and what not, methodology, okay, what not. So we used to highlight each and everything. So imagine you have 300 documents, you have highlighted each and every important uh, thing, like say suppose variable. But now you want to know that if I want to correlate all this 300, like I want to have meaning of my own research, like operational definition, what we say, operational definition for my own research variable, then I need to combine thought process of all these 300 documents. So how I am going to do, right? So that even would get resolved through coding and creating notes. So for each and every variable, you can prepare, you can frame a code, you can devote one specific note, and not only one code, but you can go for sub coding and sub creating sub nodes as well. And once you double click that particular node, all 300 documents information related to that particular concept of variable you will be finding at just one place. Okay, that even could be converted into Word document, everything, this all the things I'm going to show you. Okay, now like which stages of research, at which stages of research you can use this software to analyze your information and data. I'm not going much in detail, but yes, at literature review phase you can use, right? You can create memos and links, and you can try to find out relationships and themes. Not only literature review, but at research design stage as well, you can create models. Even after data collection, the collected data could be analyzed, right? Again, you can find out relationships and themes, you can assign certain attributes, you can classify the entire sample, even demographics you can study. And not only this, even in writing up and in framing your conclusions, this would help. Okay, so we have talked a lot about NBO, like what exactly it can do. Lot many things it can do. But what I am going to cover in this webinar. Okay, so the scope of this webinar would be, I would be showing you how to download and install both the softwares, NVivo and EndNote. Okay, I want to convey one thing over here, that there were two reasons why I haven't kept this seminar as hands-on, and rather than I'm going to just demonstrate. First thing is I wanted to cover few things, like say suppose coding, memo, classification, creating word cloud, and all these things within limited period of time. So if it is hands-on, this is going to take the entire day. And second, which is the very much important reason, is I don't wanted to waste your one trial. So let me convey this as well, that we all know that we need to sign up on the particular website, and after signing up we would be getting the file, that particular setup over our mail, and through that particular mail and downloadable link we can download that software. So we all know that at least one mail ID we want for downloading and installing purposes. But what I have observed for NVivo is that it allows only once per mail ID per machine. Okay, so once you have installed NVivo in your laptop or in your desktop, next time, like I have used it will be available for 14 days trial, right? So once I have signed up through one mail ID and I have used one particular laptop or a desktop to install that, I have used it for 14 days, then after this both the things would be useless. So once again, if you want to have trial or of that, you have to have a new mail ID and a new machine. Okay, So that's why I'm just going to demonstrate each and everything. But don't worry, I'll be going very slow. Okay, and if you won't understand anything, you can even interrupt me and ask in between, right? Specifically to students, I want to say that keep notebook and pen with you, as it is just a demonstration kind of thing. What you people can do, you can write the entire path, okay, whichever I'm going to show you. Means I'll be selecting certain tabs, I'll be giving certain commands, so you can write down all those tabs and commands having in between one arrow. So between two tabs you can put an arrow, and by that way you can write the entire path which you can follow afterwards, like whenever you want to practice, or you want to do, like maybe researchers want to do the analysis. So at the time of doing analysis, you can go through your own notes, and you won't be requiring anyone else's help. Okay, so yes, so that I'll show. Then which type of files you can import, that I'll show. Then we will learn to create word cloud, word tree map, how you can analyze that. Okay, how one can code, how one can create node, and memos can be created, and ultimately classification. Now, why I have written classification with the help of EndNote? Because we all know that not only EndNote, but there is Mendeley, Zotero, lot many reference manager tools available. Okay, but other than EndNote, it if you import EndNote file in your NVO, then and then only ready-made kind of classification would be available. It's not supporting Mendeley or Zotero kind of files. Okay, so that's why I'm going to show that also. Okay, so let's start with the demonstration part. So if you won't get anything, or if you skip any particular step, you can interrupt me and ask me. Okay, so go for NVO search in your Google Chrome. You will have this link, qualitative data analysis software, that is NVO. Okay, let me give this link into chat box. Okay, few of the students have replied to my question, but I couldn't see your chat. Sorry. Huh? Okay, so this is the link for NVO setup, download, and installation. Okay, let's go back to. Okay, so you can see this tab. Okay, try NVO. So go to try NVO. Now scroll down. You can click on start trial. Okay, you can read this. I already have a license. Okay, but we don't have. Okay, I need a license to trial NVO, in which I want I will be available with 14 days of trial. Okay, so I can download a 14-day trial of NVO. So click on continue. Okay, it's available for Windows, it's available for Mac also. So we want to have this Windows. Okay, so you can select this, it's already selected, and continue. Okay, so you can see zero bill amount, continue. Okay, I've already signed up, so I can directly log into my NVO account. But what you people can do, first of all, you have to sign up. Okay, so provide all your details and sign up properly. Then, verification mail will be sent to your registered mail ID. First, you need to verify that mail ID, and then again, once again, you will be going to the first page and you need to sign in. Okay. So once you sign in, okay, once you sign in, then again for your trial, because why you have signed up for a particular trial, so that particular window will open, and from there you can opt for try and vivo. So another mail containing the tab of download, from where you can download the setup, and then you can run the setup. I think if you have at least once, if once you have downloaded or installed any particular software, it would be very easy to download and install NVivo also. It's not that different, right? So once you download the setup and once you try to run that setup, you need to keep in mind two things. You need to read the instructions, and whenever it is asking for I am agreeing with all the terms and conditions, select that particular checkbox, right? And second thing is, read it properly, that I want trial for 14 days. Okay, don't go for that option that you had license, and ultimately you have to provide license key, right? So go for that particular option which shows that you want 14 days trial. Okay, so this was about NVivo download and installation. Okay, now next is EndNote. EndNote, if you simply go for EndNote, it is going to show you all paid versions, right? But we don't want, so go for EndNote free download. You can read this, right? Try EndNote for 30 days, right? Select that. Okay, I'm giving this link as well. So this is for EndNote. This we are going to need at the stage of classification. Only for classification we would require this. Okay. The same thing, first of all you need to sign up, then they are going to send you verification mail. Once you verify, then again you are going to sign in, and through that sign in, from the same website you are going to get setup file for EndNote for 30 days trial. Okay, same way it is going to show somewhere like I accept all the terms and conditions. So you need to select that checkbox, and you need to keep in mind that I am going to choose only that option which says that I need a trial for 30 days. Okay, but what is the basic difference between two? NVivo won't be available for that particular mail ID or machine next time. But what I have observed with EndNote, it still be active after 30 days with limited features, right? So EndNote, once you have downloaded and installed this particular free version, then it would be of like lifetime access, but with a certain reduced features. Okay, so this was about your download and installation. Okay, now let's go for NVivo. Okay, so once you install, you will have a shortcut at your desktop. Okay, so click that one. I have installed it before a week, so it is showing that only 6 days are left for my trial. So you need to select launch NVivo, right? Is there any doubt till now?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
I need to confirm whether you all are with me or I'm just speaking to the machine. Or okay. Yes. So you will be able to see this type of screen, right? Okay. So you have to go for this new project. So click on new project. You will be naming the project. Okay. So I'm naming qualitative analysis. Now it is going to create a backup file. So if you want to change the location, you need to browse and you need to change the location. Like I want to have it on desktop or whatever you want, right? But I don't want to go for my custom kind of location. You need to describe that I am going to say going to create word cloud or something like that. Okay, so this description space would be provided with every kind of command, whether it is coding, whether it is generating your nodes or your memos. Why? Because what we people do, we people first create codes, nodes and everything, and after a few days we would forget, right? So if you have certain description in mind, you will be able to recall that for which reason I have created this file, or for which reason I have coded something, right? So you need to make sure that you would have something in mind and you would describe, right? Okay. And next, okay. Would you want to auto save it? So if you would do yes, then undo. Okay, going back would be disabled, so it's not preferable. You should go for this option, which is by default provided to you, right? So display save reminders every 15 minutes. You can even reduce that or increase that, right? So manually you want to save it, and that's why you are opting for this particular option. For like after how much time you are going to create recovery files, because this is going to not only this, even EndNote is creating one file, a specific file whenever you open EndNote, or it is going to create recovery file every time, right? You are creating a project. Okay, how many recovery files, and that too recent one, you want to save? So over here you can write that also, that 2 3 files, most recent files I want to create recovery file for each and every most recent files. Okay, and even you can give recovery file location. So I'm going to create project. So after doing all these things, you are going to create your project. Okay, it already exists. I would delete it, but still it's saying that it already exists. So I need to some other name. Okay. If you want to understand yourself, like what import can do, or where exactly import tab is, what organize mean, what explore mean, so you can start tour and understand, but we are skipping this. Okay. Sorry, I didn't skip it. I did next. So skip tour. Okay. So very first thing you would see is files. So close this one. Okay. Now go to files. Okay. Now what things you can do by right clicking? So what I did, I clicked right hand side key of like right click. Okay. So you can create folder under files. Say suppose I am going to show you it from my own literature review perspective. Okay, there can be, you know, lot many perspective, like I want to analyze information which I have collected in through in-depth interview or through focus groups, right? But my purpose is to, so every time you need to define your purpose, that what exactly you want to do, what exactly you want to analyze, right? And then after you'll start preparing folders and coding it and giving, defining your nodes and everything. Okay, so for my literature review, I have identified 3 to 4 variables. So if I want that for each and every variable, I want to bifurcate all the files. Say suppose I have 400 files and I want to bifurcate it into 4 variables. So I would be giving variable name each file, right? So say suppose my one variable is size. I am talking from the perspective of stock market and stocks. So I I'm going to bifurcate, like for framing portfolios, I am going to bifurcate stocks into different sizes, in the sense capitalization of the stock, right? So one folder I want to make for size, in which each and every article pertaining to size variable I am going to import, right? And you will be giving the description, right? So this is one of the important factor or something like that. Keep in mind that later on, if you see the size variable and if you won't recall it, so what you need to recall why I have framed this particular folder. Okay, so I'm not going to create any folder, but I'm just showing you that under file segment you can create as many folders as you want. I'm going to import directly. Okay, so this was first option. Now importing files. So if you want to import your Word or PDF documents, you will be going for this option. Okay, if you want to import your survey Excel files, okay, so please pay attention that which kind of files it support. Okay, I'm going to show each and everything, right? So surveys Excel file it support, .txt or CSV file it supports. Even you have conducted survey through SurveyMonkey or Qualtrics, all these files would be supported. Not only surveys, but even it supports the files which you have created in your reference manager tools like EndNote, Mendeley, RefWorks, Zotero, and whatnot. Okay, even this import from NCapture. So through NCapture you can collect information or capture information related to social media. So if you have collected it through NCapture, that files also could be imported. Okay, so this is one of the options. Now if you go for import, all these options which I have explained will be available over here also, right? So in case of Excel, survey, all these options are showing, even and capture. So if you want to import and capture, which has captured social media information, so you will be going for this option. Okay, so what it does, it gives you multiple options even for coding, right? If you want to code, so from here also you can code, from here also you can code, from selecting and highlighting the text, even you can frame the code, right? So it is going to give you multiple options. With which option you are comfortable, you are going to choose, right? So let's import files. Okay, what I did, uh, I right clicked. Okay, import files, and I'm going to locate. Okay, so my PhD literature review files are over here. Okay, so I'm going to locate, and so suppose I want all the files, so I can select all the files and open. Okay, and click import. Likewise, all these are PDF files. So likewise, all kind of files and all Excel, CSV, all files you can import. Okay. Any doubt till now?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let me explain externals. So in files, what you are going to import, which have support documents like Word file, PDF file, images, videos, right? But so in certain cases, you will have information in e form, like we used to read ebooks, we used to read news articles and kind of thing, which we don't have in PDF or Word format, and we don't want to create, we want to just import. So that's called externals, right? You are required to close this, right click. So over here also, new folder means if I want to bifurcate all my e-form documents into number of folders, then you are going to prepare folders. Okay, but I don't want to go for framing folders and then importing information or data. So let's go for new external. Okay, uh, why I need this. From my literature point of view, I have identified that already factors calculation has been done for US market. Size and all the variables returns are already been calculated. So I want that library. This is the researcher who developed three-factor model. Okay, so I want to have Pharma French library. I can even give a description why I want this. I want to go through, observe the ready-made information, data, returns available on this website, right? So once you have named it, you will be going for externals. So it could be file link. File link meaning thereby if you have already saved that web link on your desktop, okay, so you are going to have this option. If you haven't saved it but you directly want to import that web link, but yes, at that time also you are required to have that web link, right? So that web link option you will be choosing, and you will be giving the URL path. Okay, so suppose I am going for file link, I can browse. Okay, and do I have any already saved file? Yes, I have. So suppose this is Pharma French library. Okay, so I am going to select that and I am going to import. Okay, so yes, the blank document will be available with this Pharma French library. So whatever I am observing, whatever information I need from that particular website or web link, I am going to type over here. Okay, one thing you might have noticed that this edit tab was not there previously, right? Once I have imported this web link, it got activated. So why? Because every time you would see over here blank Word document, you may think that I want to edit information, I want to have specific fonts, I want to bold something. Okay, so at that time go for edit, and all Word options, okay, would be available over here. Even insert, like you want to insert date and time, real time, right? So you can insert. So each and every kind of editing would be possible over here in a Word document. So this is about externals. Okay, now what about that file? Say suppose I want to take in one URL. Okay, so let's take any URL and note. So let me create folder for EndNote. Say suppose EndNote. Okay, external web link. So I'm going to take, for an example, I'm taking this web link. Okay, and that would get also imported. You can see EndNote. Okay, and whatever you are observing through that particular web link, whatever you want to use as the information for your own analysis purposes, you can type in. Okay, and you can have all sort of editing and everything. Okay, so this is about externals. I'm going to take this file classifications later on. Coding, that also we will be discussing. Okay, so this was all about importing your files and externals, right? Now going back, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
I have, okay, so next analysis we are going for is creating word cloud, but with importing only 5 PDF files, I'm not going to have any meaningful kind of word cloud. So what I am doing, I have created one project earlier in which I have all my PDFs of literature review, right? So I'm going to open that. It is going to prompt you whether you have an open project, so whether you want to save or without saving you want to close it. So I don't want to save it, so I'm clicking on no. Okay, yes, so my previously created project I have opened, right? Once again I'm showing you go for file option, open. You can create your new project from here as well. Okay, so open, and this was the previous one. Double click and it is going to open, right? So I have 380 PDF files of my literature review, for which I am going to create a word cloud. Okay, so go to explore and word frequency option. Go to explore tab, word frequency option. Okay, click on that. Okay, now we need to choose certain options before going for word cloud, or even it is not going to give you straightforward word cloud, but it is going to give you summary that which word is repeated most of the times, right, in a particular file. So let's choose first of all these options. I want to search for all words in files and externals both. That is this. I have imported something over here. I have imported something over here. I want to search in both the tabs. So I'll be having this option. If I go for selected files, I can select among this, and say suppose I right now I haven't bifurcated it. So I want to take only the articles which are related to size, and I want to choose that, and for that I want to prepare a word cloud. So you can select. Okay, selected folders. Okay, so these are, and if under this any folder you have created, it is going to show here, over here, right? But I haven't created any folder, so it is showing me files. So you can go for having search query for folders as well, right? The same query you can run for folders. Now, how many words, for how many words you want to create a word cloud, right? So by default, it is going to be 1,000 words, which are most frequently used in all the documents, because I have selected files and externals. So you can give your own choice as well. Okay, say suppose 500. Okay, I want to have only 250 words. Okay, now if number of documents are less, you can even go for 100 most frequent word used. So I'm going for the default one, or you want to have all, but all would look messy, right? So you need to have some fixed number. Even you can choose minimum length. Okay, if you would choose minimum length of 2-letter word, then E is also going to come. Even R, if I'm choosing it 3. So preferably it should be 4, or you may find text, or you may go through your text and find out like whether I have any 3-letter word or 2-letter word, which is very much important factor in my study or dimension in my study. Likewise, you can select the length of the word. Okay, over here you can select whether you want exact match, with whether you want stemmed words, not only talk but even talking. You want specializations, or you want generalization. So based on that, you can scroll down it and choose. Okay, something like that. Okay, so you can choose for that, but I am going for exact match. So after selecting all these options, I am going to run the query. Okay, so most of the time size word is repeated. So most frequent word in all the document is size. Okay, which is of 4-letter length, and 21,702 times it got repeated. And what's the percentage? 0.74. So this is the summary. Now we are very much interested in creating word cloud. So go for this option. Okay, you can see at right hand side you have 4 different options. So select word cloud. Okay, any doubt till now? Hello.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So it has created a word cloud. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me how you are going to analyze this word cloud? What the sizes of words mean over here? You can unmute the mic and speak, no issues. How you are going to interpret it? Okay, you can even adjust the size like this. Okay, this is one of the utilities. Okay, so the size of the word would depend on how many times the particular word is getting repeated. Okay, so I have created this word cloud for my literature review, right? So it also depends on the purpose, for which purpose you have created it and what exactly you want as an analysis, right? So if I look this from the literature review perspective, I can say that size is the most prominent word or a factor, and lot many studies have been conducted around this factor, right? So if I am trying to find my literature gap, that what exactly I can do under this particular topic, right, as research topic, my research topic. Okay, so I cannot, I shouldn't, I can, but I shouldn't take this because lot many researches have already been conducted. Okay, and that is revolving around pharma French, which I have already told you, because this researcher has given 3 factor, 5 factor, and 6 factor models, different models he has provided, and that's why this term is repeated many times, right? So one factor is size. The same way value is the another factor, which is also, so first 3 factor model which Pharma French provided was of size and value, these 2 factors, right? So this 2 factors, on these 2 factors internationally, lot many researches have already been conducted, right? Now I move further, you can see over here. So how, like, I am clear regarding my topic, I am clear regarding the factors in my research, and that's why I can easily make it out, right? You may not be able to interpret it because what size mean, what value mean, you don't know. So that is the very much important thing, that you must have some previous knowledge, some previous reading, some previous exploration regarding the topic, and you must have understood, assumed certain things or certain factors. Okay, so if you go beyond, like, at the boundary, we can say that boundary of the word cloud, you can see this momentum, right? So this is the third factor. So you can see, the articles which I am getting regarding this particular value factor, they are more in numbers than momentum. So what it reflects, that this particular factor, the research has been conducted lesser than the value. So yes, I can target this. Then another variable is investment. Yes, then another variable is profitability. So why I have kept 1000 words? If I would have kept 500, I couldn't have this word. Okay, because very less research has been conducted, uh, like conducted for this particular variable, which is the fifth variable, that is also been provided or invented by, researched out by Pharma French, that is profitability. So this could be my research gap, that I can study this as a factor in my study. Okay, other words you can see is like month. So this also shows frequency, how I'm interpreting it, because I have read certain articles. So pre-reading and pre-understanding of the topic is also required. Okay, so in majority of the studies, monthly frequency of data has been used, so this also can be useful in my study, right? Then panel data has been used. Okay, then you can see this five word, and you even can find out 3 or 2 or something like that, which may be larger than this word in size. Okay, you can see here 4. Okay, so 4 factor model, the less number of researches are available for 4 factor model than 5 factor model, because 5 word is getting repeated many times. Okay, it may be due to like 5 portfolios we are framing, so you need to have beforehand knowledge about that, like where 5 word can may have been used in particular literature. So I am talking from literature review point of view, but it could be even plotted, or it can be created for your information or data collected through in-depth interview, through focus groups. So in that you must have identified certain themes, or maybe you want to have opinion poll. So like I am you may be finding words like I am disheartened with the product usage, I am very angry when I got dissatisfied. So angry, disheartened, right? So it may be their opinions. So that type of words also you may be interested in finding whenever you are going for text analysis, like document analysis, which may be the transcript of in-depth interview or focus group, right? So word cloud can give you interpretation about the themes, about the variables which are most prominent one in the particular analysis. So same thing could be done for not only for focus group or in-depth interview transcripts, but you can collect news articles as well and can create word cloud. Okay, lot many researches or lot many studies have been conducted who collected or who transcribed the speech of political leaders, or maybe some other well-known personalities speeches over a period of time, and what is the focus of their speech every time, or what they are oriented towards, or what they seem very much important. Okay, that would get highlighted as a most prominent kind of word of larger size. So that kind of transcribed speeches and all also you can analyze. Okay, so it has lot many uses. Okay, now second thing, if I would check, then over here it is 2050, right? Even at another extreme it is 1997. So I think I don't need this, right? It is not adding anything to my research, or even this pharma and French word, because I already know that this research has been conducted by pharma and French, and there is no need of this larger words over here in my word cloud. So what I can do, I can go to tree map, I can find out that word. Okay, and I can add to stop words list. It should be in word cloud as well. Let me check. Okay, from tree map or from word cloud, both ways you can do. Right click on the particular word which you don't want to have in your word cloud, and add to stop words list. Okay, select this particular option, add to stop words list. Okay, so pharma word would get added. Let it process. Okay, then this also I want to add as a stop word. Okay, then this also I want to add as a stop word. This also, and lot many words like whichever number of words you want to add into your stop word list, you can add. Okay, and once you have selected, you are required to run query once again. What I did, I chose run query option once again, which previously I did it previously also to create my word cloud. So after adding all the unnecessary words to my stop word list, okay, I am going to run this query once again, and now you can see, okay, those words are not in my word cloud. Same way, like whichever words you don't want to include. Okay, now if I would look at this word cloud, I am, I am sensing it as very simple black and white kind of thing. So you can go to this tab. It's already selected word frequency query, and you can scroll down this menu. Okay, and whichever word style you want, or whichever background you want, or whichever color in your fonts you want, and you can select that option. Okay, so let me select this one. Okay, so this could be, you know, saved for further reference. This is looking better than the previous one. Okay, so this can straightforward be copied, and say suppose I want to have it in Word document. So open Word, any Word document. Okay, I think you are clear what I did. I copied this word cloud and I am trying to paste it over here. As simple as that, right? And I can use it. Okay. Okay, leave it. So same way you can copy paste in PPT as well if you don't want Word. Okay. Same way you can have analysis of tree map, cluster analysis. Okay, but it is related to my own literature review. I'm not going much in detail. Okay, but these are stemmed words, like which word is getting repeated with which word, and depending on that you can have interpretations. Okay, let me show you one. It's a part of financial economics. It could be interpreted like that. Mm, time series. So my data is in a time series format, right? In majority of the studies, cross section regression has been used. So all these three terms are STEM, means they are they are written simultaneously, or you can make it as like phrase cross sectional regression, and that is been that had been used as a method, right? Same way tree map, that also reflects like which word is used with which word, and depending on that you can have analysis. Okay, yes, now I am going to the next topic of coding. Okay, so as I already told you that you are having multiple ways. From here also you can create a code, from here also in create option also you can create a code, and from tree map also you can create a code. The same thing I'm going to take, that size is important variable, so I am going to convert that into a code. Okay, what it means I would explain you afterwards, but let me first create it as code. So what I did, I right clicked over this particular cell of size and I clicked on create as code. Okay. So I'm going to name it size only. I think I have previously coded this. So let me see. Okay. So I'm going to give name of code, then description, important factor of my study or something like that. I didn't create it previously. Okay, I'm going to close this. Okay, and you can see over here, previously it was 0. Now there is one code against each and every file, meaning thereby, like over here it is 0, means this particular article is not covering size as a factor, but all other rest of the articles are covering size as the factor. Okay, if this represents code, what this represent, that in this particular article 38 times this code or size word has been repeated. Now why I did this? Okay, let me show you this also. If you want to go through the PDF, entire PDF file in NVivo itself, you are required to double click it, right? So double click this particular document and it will open up. Okay. Okay. Now, right now I'm not able to see the code. You can see this pen like icon, right? It's highlighter for you. And down arrow key. So click on this down arrow key, go to all coding, right? Down arrow key, all coding. Okay. So what would happen? I have coded only one factor, that is size. So size word will get highlighted. Okay. And I may be interested in working upon the stuff related with size. Okay. So if I want to read about size as a factor, I would be going to those particular lines where size word has been highlighted, right? And by that way I can read. So this is the importance of creating code through tree map. So in tree map you first identified that which are the factors or which are the important words which I am going to read about in my article, so that would get automatically highlighted. Okay. Okay, now next thing is coding. So I told you about this, that it is going to get highlighted. One second. Let me go to this article. I'm going to this down arrow key, all coding. Okay, so I can see size. Now, which things I want to read about size? So I am important in two things. Say suppose I am interested in knowing relationship of size as a factor with expected returns of particular stock, right? So I am interested in, first thing is relationship. Say suppose second thing I'm interested in, first of all, whenever I would be starting my research, I need to give operational definition. So I want to understand each and every article's definition of size, how they have defined. So one thing, the second thing I'm interested into knowing about how size factor has been framed or how it had been defined, right? So one is relationship, definition. Third one is depending on this factors in my study, portfolios. This is especially models for portfolio formation and earning returns through those portfolios, right? So ultimately why I am doing this study, so that I can have strategy of framing portfolios. So third thing I am interested in framing of portfolios based on size. So I want to read that in each and every article how portfolio has been framed around size. Okay, so what I can do, I can go through the content. I can find out content related to any of these things like portfolio formation or definition or relationship. Okay, so let me search for that line. I've already highlighted that. Okay, so read this. Companies were divided into small and large groups after they had been arranged in terms of the size and by the use of medians. So they, what it mean, that they were chronologically ordered, each and every company, and based on the median size, they had been divided into small and large, two grouping. So this is say suppose this is the definition. Okay, so This part afterwards I am going to delete because I am not able to select only this content. Okay, so what I am trying to do, I am trying to highlight this 3 lines and I want to code it as size definition. Okay, uh, I'll delete afterwards this thing. So select this, then right click. Okay, or you can even go through, select this, create code. Okay, and over here you can give code name. Okay, let me do it once again. Select this content, sorry, select this content. Okay, go to create. Okay, after selecting that content, go to create, go to code. So this type of pop-up window will appear, and over here you can name the variable size definition. Okay, and I can give the description, whatever description I want to give. Okay, so I have coded this. That was already available in this. Okay, so this is 2 codes you can see over here. So one is size, which I have created through tree map, and another thing with highlighted content I have created, second code. So if I go to codes section, I can see, right? Previously also I have coded this. Okay, so all coding, whichever content you are going to highlight and whichever codes you are going to assign that particular content, you that codes are going to appear in this particular, after choosing this particular tab, you will be able to see all these codes. Okay, I have wrongly uh, did it for twice, so let me delete this. Okay, so what you did for deleting, right click, you will have delete option and you deleted that. Okay, so let's go once again, double click, all coding, go to that particular line. Okay, then create code size definition and it will get created. Okay, other way what I can do is this coding I already did, but what I think afterwards, that under size factor only I want to have this bifurcation. So under size, this is called in NVivo language, this is called parent code and child code. So parent code is a major theme, and under that you can have 2 3 4 different coding, which is its sub dimension, we can say that, right? So I want to have size definition under size code itself, and I don't want to create it individually, right? It as a different code, another code. So what I'll do, I'll right click. Okay, are you clear how I can frame a code? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
main code, creation of main code. Now I'm going to create sub codes, right? So for that, I need to right click on already coded, this already coded size. Okay, and under which, like, right click, under that I am going to create a new code, and I want size definition under size coding only. So I am writing size definition. I am going to add the description and then press OK. So you can see, right, size definition as a child code. So this is called parent code, this is called child code. Okay, under this even I can have subgrouping, like another code I want to have is portfolio formation, right? I am going to give the description. I am going to press OK. So another sub coding is portfolio formation. So suppose portfolio formation, I think that out of all these documents, 200, 300 documents, there should be some similarities, right? So I can identify, I can again group this portfolio framing into 2, 3 kind of similar portfolio framing strategy. So under this also I can have another child code, right click, new code, group 1. Okay, and I'm going to give the description that the studies which have framed portfolio considering size in a similar manner, I am going to code it under group 1. Okay, and I'm going to press OK. Same way, portfolio framing, I can have grouping 2. Okay, and add description. Okay, right? So now how I'm going to code this, like I have created codes, now I'm going to assign text to this codes. Okay, previously what we have seen that I'm going to find the text from the document, and from selecting that text I'm going to create a code. Okay, but now what I want, I have already created code which are blank right now. Okay, so suppose if I double click on this, it's taking time in processing. Okay, so size has already been coded in each and every document through that tree map, right? 368 files are having size, and this 2170 references I am having. Okay, so and even you can check that particular document as well where the size word has been highlighted by clicking this. But before that, let's go for those references. Like in this A Balakrishnan article, first reference is this size, value and momentum effects in. Their size word is highlighted. Reference to in this particular line size has been highlighted, and likewise. Okay, and all these references are belonging to this particular article. So if you click on this article, you can have side by side this article being opened up, right? So straightforward, like where this reference is, I can know. Okay, so very first reference would be this one. Okay, size, value and momentum effects. You can read this. Size, value and momentum effects in. So the very first reference is this. Okay, so what I am trying to explain you is I did first coding, and then created a code. Second thing what I can do is I have certain themes in mind, so that for that first I would create code and then assign text to that code, right? So if I double click on this, I would find blank document. Why? Because I've just created codes, but I haven't assigned any text to this code. Okay, so this is regarding size definition. So once again, go to files, open that document. Okay, and once again do the same thing. Where that word was, over here. Okay, so I have chosen this, right click. Okay, selection mode. Sorry. एक minute. Okay, this option is not there. I am required to select the text, then go to create. Okay, selected this text, go to create code. Okay, and One second. No, no. This is for new code creation. Sorry for the disturbance. Select the text, then code selection. You are required to go to code selection. Why? Because we have already created a blank code and we are going to assign this text to that blank code. So select the text and then code selection. So this window will open, right? You can see only size, but if you go and click this, you would be having subgrouping. Okay, so I want to assign this text to size definition. So select the size definition and code selection to size definition would be that. Okay, so what I did, whatever text I wanted to assign to particular code, I have selected that, right click, I have gone to this code selection, then this this window has opened, and then after I have selected size definition code under this grouping, right? So code selection to size, then after I am selecting this. Okay, so it has already been coded. Now let's see how it looks. So this is my size definition. If I double click, previously it was blank, now it is showing me this. Okay, now I want to remove this text because I think this part. Wait a minute. No, I may not be able to delete this. So I have to make sure that only the text which I want to code will be chosen, right? But in that particular document, I am not having. So other thing what you can do, this could be copy pasted in your Word document. Okay, you can copy it. You can paste it in Word document. Let me close this. Okay. Copy, paste, and from here I can delete them. Okay, because I haven't encountered this type of problem, and that's why I don't know whether NVO can delete it or not. But afterwards, what I am going to do, I am going to create a Word file from where I can read about size of the definition of size at a time, like how all these documents have defined size as a variable. So I am going to have that content in Word file, and then I'm going to read about the definition, and based on that I'm going to define size for my own research. I'm going to give operational definition for that, right? So likewise you can do. But the problem which I am encountering right now, that is regarding the selecting of content, won't be there. Like you will be able to select whatever content you want, right? So over here this is unuseful content which you can do, like copy pasting in Word document and editing there. Okay, so this is regarding code assignment. Okay, now other thing I want to assign to code is portfolio formation, right? So how portfolio has been formed. Okay, so 30% of high grouping and all. Uh, One second, let me find out. So you have to read the article and find out, right? So where exactly portfolio formation had been provided. Okay, and that too you can assign to portfolio formation code. Uh, Two factors calculation, Then preparation of the portfolios. Yes. At the second step, the preparation of the portfolios was based on the total sum and all these things. So let me highlight this. Okay. So say suppose this is my content which I want to read afterwards regarding my portfolio formation. So I'm going to select this text, right click, port selection, and I'm going to select portfolio formation and I'm going to code it. Okay, so I'll be able to see that coding even in portfolio formation. Okay, so that part would be highlighted over here. So this is I did it for just one article. You can do for all the articles, and the same content would be highlighted with like all articles content, coded content would be highlighted with source. Okay, so source is also going to be highlighted. If you if you click on this, highlighted part would appear, right? So it's not like that once you have done the coding, you won't be able to go through that content once again. You can select this source from the coded Word document. Okay, what I did, I double clicked on portfolio formation. I have certain content which I require for my own researches portfolio construction, and I want to read the information around this from the source once again. So I am clicking this source and highlighted part would appear. Okay, so now you can correlate with the image in PPT, that once you have highlighted content in your, say suppose 300 documents, and you are doing it manually, you will be clueless like where to start, where to end. But over here what you would get, that 300 articles portfolio formation you can have on a single Word document. And not only on single Word document, but even you can go through the entire article and the theme around that particular statement. What is what is other things written for portfolio formation over there. So once again, even you can go through the content. Okay, so this was about coding part. Any doubt in coding part? I have created grouping also, right? So you are going to go to that file again. Okay, and say suppose I have previously coded it to portfolio formation. Okay, if you won't get any highlighted word or line, go to this all coding, right? Okay, so yes, I have already coded it to portfolio formation, and then after I came to know, after reading the entire Word document of coding of and that too portfolio formation, I think this should go in group 1. So I am going to select this text once again, port selection, under portfolio formation there would be group 1 and group 2. So I want to code it to group 1. Okay, so select that, port selection to group 1, and it would be coded, right? Okay, so it's all about coding. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Now let's move to the last part, that is file classification, which I am going to show you. Okay, so for that I need to open up EndNote. Okay. Would you like to activate the full version of EndNote? No. Okay, I've already imported certain references previously. Okay, so this is the main screen of your EndNote 20. As usual, how we import files in any kind of application, you can import, right? So go to File, import. You can import file or you can even import the entire folder. I am going to import file. Okay. Over here, there would be lot many options, but yes, as I want to import PDF file, which is standard format in case of literature review. So I have to, by default, it is given over here. Otherwise, I have to choose this PDF. Okay, then there are options that you want to import all or you want to discard duplicates, because lot many times in case of literature review, what happens that you would download same PDF file twice. Okay, so you want to discard duplicate, so have that option. If you have your article in different language and you want to translate that document, so that facility is also available. So I'm going for no translation because it's already available in English. So this options you are going to choose first, and then you are going to locate, right? So same articles. For this same articles, I am going to frame classification. So I'm going to import those files only. 3 files I've already imported, so let me go for fourth file and open. The problem with this import is I can import single file at a time. If I press shift and I would try to go below, it's not getting selected, or even control A is not working. So in EndNote, you are required to import single file at a time. Okay, let me import that. So all of my references are now 4. Okay, imported references would show over here, but I want all the references, so I'm going for this particular option, right? Now I can see that for this 3 articles, year is available, author is available, title is available, journal is available, which type of that document is also available, but for this it's not available. So I can add it also. Double click on this. Okay, you will have all the options, and along with this you will have PDF of that article also. So what I want author's name. I'm just copying only one author. Okay, so you can copy it from over here and you can add. Then year is 2015, so I'm going to add 2015. Then article. Okay, implement pharma and French and capital asset pricing model in Saudi Arabia stock market. So this is my title, which I'm going to copy and paste over here, right? And I'm going to save. Okay, close this. So what I mean by file classification, I want to generate an Excel sheet in which I will have all these details about my articles, like who is author, in which year it has been published, then what is the title of that, and lot many other things. Whichever classification you want, you have to add it first over here. Okay, now I'm going to save it, which could be imported in NVivo to create my file classification, right? So go to file menu, right? Now if I would save a copy, I would be able to save it, but it would be into only, you can see, only .enl form, right? But NVivo supports XML form, .xml form, so I cannot save it. So what I can do, I need to export, in which I would have more options. So click export. I want to save it over desktop. Okay, you can see over here file extension is .txt, but I need to have the compatible format, so that is XML, and this .xml is going to create file classification, right? So I'm going to select that and I'm going to save it. Okay, I've already created it, so I'm replacing that. Okay, so done. For file classification, I need to do only this part in EndNote, right? So I'm going to close that. Okay. Now coming back to NVO files. Okay. If I would import files over here, it would get duplicated. So what I am doing, I am creating new folder for classification purposes. I am going to give description. Okay, and classification is there. So I'm going to import my files in classification folder, right? So classification, then import from, because I want to have EndNote library, right? I don't want to import Word document or PDF. So import from EndNote. Okay. So right click on this, import from EndNote. Okay. And I need to locate that. So over here, it's my EndNote libraries over here. Select that. Okay. Now 2 3 options you are required to choose, that whether I want to name it by title, but more preferable is by author and year. Do I want to have single classification or different classification based on the record type? So that also, like for variables, different variables, I want to have different classification, or those files getting differently classified or something like that. But the more preferable one is this one. Okay, so this, after choosing these two options, you are going to import. Okay. Let me, okay. It is, I think it is getting merged over here only, but what I wanted to create reference. Okay, so it is under file classification. I have created references, right? So if I am importing my files, okay, over here, I think it got duplicated. Yes, it got imported over here only. Okay, so you need to make sure that at very first instance, whatever files you are importing, it should be from EndNote library only, right? So now what I exactly want, I want file classification. So go to file classification menu. Okay, double click on references. So the entire Excel sheet would be available. Like this could be exported to export classification sheet, and then that too, that could be saved over your desktop, right? So the entire Excel sheet would be generated. So this is about classification. Now suppose you want to add a new attribute to your classification, right? I want to add methodology section, right? That in like which article is qualitative one, which article is talking about quantitative techniques, and lot many other attributes you may want to add in your Excel sheet for classification purposes, right? In my study, majority of the articles are quantitative, so that's why I don't know, but don't need, right? But yes, if you want to add a new attribute, you can click over this, that is new attribute. Okay, go to new attribute, then type methodology, because I want to create okay, new attribute over here. Want to classify, matlab, you are required to give it a description. Okay, and if you press OK, new attribute would get selected. But as you can see, the values are unassigned and not applicable. So what at the time of new attribute you were required to do? Let me go to it once again. New attribute, that is methodology. Okay, and I need to add values. because these are the default values, unassigned, not applicable, but I don't want that. What I want to bifurcate all the articles into quantitative or qualitative, so that I have to type in as my values. Okay, so qualitative, add another one is quantitative. Okay, and then press OK. This should be deleted because this don't have let it be like that. Okay, I want to assign whether the particular article is quantitative or qualitative. So if I select this, then I would have two options. Okay, so I can assign whether the particular study is quantitative or qualitative. Okay, so I am assigning it quantitative. For all other articles, I can do the same thing. Okay, so I have identified whether my studies are quantitative or qualitative. Likewise, you can add as many new attributes as you want. Now, in which format I am very much interested in? Excel format. So what I am going to do is right click anywhere, right click, export classification sheet. Okay, and you are going to create a classification sheet where you want to save. So I want to save it on desktop. So classification sheet got generated. Okay, this is possible only through EndNote library. Okay, this is not possible in Mendeley or Zotero. And after this, you can identify which researcher has given most contribution in the particular field, like how many articles are written by similar author, same author. Okay, which area is prominent one. You can add even country of origin or country, in sample you can add country name as well. So in EndNote library you can add one more detail, that is country, like for which country sample the study had been conducted. Okay, so afterwards through Excel sheet you can classify your articles into countries as well, not for authors only, or even year. In particular 1 year, how many articles had been contributed, so that also you can find out. How many articles are quantitative or qualitative, right? So that also you can identify. So this is all about classification. So I'm done with whatever I wanted to include. Any doubt? Yes. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So before winding up, I'm going to share a feedback link, okay, which I would request all of you to fill up. Let me stop share. Wait a minute, I'm sharing the feedback link. Please fill up this feedback form before concluding it. Over to you, Tejas sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. I think most of us were able to, though we didn't have any hands-on experience, but I think all of us were able to follow and like you have shared with us that we'll be able to take the 14-day trial package. So I'm sure most of us will take this trial package and go through each and every step that you shared with us today. So it was really a very insightful session, and I also, despite being a professor, was listening to this session as a student, and it was really wonderful. Now I would request all the students to please make sure that they fill up the feedback form without fail, and if we can have the cameras turned on, we can have a really good photograph. So I would request most of you to please turn on your cameras so that we can have smiling faces of you and can click a couple of screenshots. Uh, Please, it's a genuine request, and I feel it will be a good one. Yeah, thank you, Rahul, for coming on screen. Uh, Thank you, Shata. Can we have others, please? It won't take much time. Come on. We just have to. We can. Thank you, Parth. Thank you, Khushbu. Where are rest? We have Vivek on screen. Great. And we have more kids.
I request faculties also to turn on the video, please, if possible. Yes, sir, you can have the screenshot.
Sure.
Thank you, Nidhi ma'am.
Just give me a moment, ma'am. Just trying to take the screen snip. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So once again, I would like to thank each and every of you participant for taking your precious time out and being a part of this session. And with and also thank you to our professors Nidhi ma'am, Nupur ma'am, Abha ma'am, who have been present throughout this session. And it's an honor to have you as well. So once again, thank you from my end, and we'll be wrapping the session. Thank you.
Kindly fill up the feedback form before leaving.
Yes.
Uh, Meet is still active for 5 minutes. Okay, so we are letting you to fill up the form. Okay. Thank you, Nikita, Rahul, Twinkle, Vijaya. Thank you so much. Okay, after filling up the form, you are free to leave. Thank you, Parth.